Louis challenged my mastering skills against AI, and today we're going to find out what really happened. So let's get started. A few years ago, I mixed a track for the Louis Mixing Challenge, and I will link that video over here. And Louis sent the pre-master of that track to Bandlab Mastering, which is the best online mastering that instantly masters your tracks with the world-leading online mastering service. Come on, those marketing texts. You cannot be the best mastering engineer or service. It's just not possible. Anyway, they put it through here, and then they made a blind shootout on their Instagram channel between the pre-master, my master, and the Bandlab master. If we look at the comments, it's really interesting what is going on, because people are really all over the place in what they think. Like, a lot of people say that A is the AI master, B is unmastered, C is human. Here B is unmastered, A and C are both pretty good. Here someone can hear a lot of compression on the files that other people call unmastered. There's just a lot of confusion going on. And a part of this confusion probably is due to the fact that Instagram doesn't have the best audio quality. And I'm not saying that YouTube is lossless. YouTube should also work on improving their audio quality, but the Instagram audio quality makes it very difficult to compare. So what I want to do today is do a small comparison yet again, and then dive into it, analyze these files, and just figure out what is going on. So here's a comparison through YouTube. Alright, so I've got the files over here, and these are literally the files used in that Instagram video from Louis. And the first thing that I want to point out is the difference between the low frequency processing between the Bandlab master and my master. Like, if we listen to particularly this part, if you listen to the Bandlab master, it sounds very tight on the low frequencies, the sub lows, lows, while on my master, it's a bit more sloppy. This is also because of the fact that the Bandlab mastering has a little bit more high frequencies in it, so it's that balance between those things. But in my is a bit more gritty low frequencies. And the reason for that I can show the mix. So this is the mix. And we have a very normal bass line in here, and keys that have a crescendo with something very interesting going on the low end. Bit rumbly things going on. And I remember that I wanted to emphasize that bit of low end rumble in the mastering. So one of the things I would normally feed back to an engineer is like, hey, I actually want this to be a little bit restless in the low frequencies, because it has that energy build up there. That is now lost in the totally lost in the Bandlab master. I want to emphasize that I'm looking at these masters from a mixing engineer's perspective. And the only info that I can give is basically how I intended something compared to how it came out in the mastering. This doesn't make it right or wrong. I want to emphasize this because I'm constantly seeing a community that's being split by taste instead of by facts. There are a lot of factual things in audio that are being twisted and have become taste and opinions. And there are a lot of taste and opinion things in audio that have become facts, like they can only be right or wrong. So I've seen a lot of confusion about it in the community. But when it comes to things like this, like low frequency balance and whatever compression, there is a lot of taste involved. as well. Now, another thing that's interesting if we compare these three versions together is that mine is a bit more limited and a bit louder. I had to turn this one down 6.6 decibels in order to do an equal loudness comparison because I don't want to trick our ears. And the Bandlab version, I only had to turn that one down 3.5 decibels. Anyway, you can see that the transients are way more apparent in the pre-master than in the Bandlab master. Now let's compare this part. So let's first do the Bandlab part. And now my version. And now do the pre-master. Wow, the pre-master is very, very transient. And the weird thing is that, like, mine doesn't really have a lot of transients anymore. Like, it's a bit over limited. I would definitely do that different today compared to 3 years ago. I've learned a lot in the meantime. So let's do a few technical comparisons, and let's do a loudness test on these. So analyze. Okay. So this is. I honestly, I didn't do this before the video. I'm literally improvising this video as I'm filming it. I didn't check this. I did gain them by ear and then use this to precisely gain match them. But I didn't do a neutral gain loudness test beforehand. And I'm a bit surprised by the results actually, because I was like, okay, now comes the moment that I'm going to have to explain myself, because mine was a bit more limited and that kind of stuff. And I was a bit ashamed of that, honestly. I was really thinking like, okay, this is the moment in which I'm going to apologize for my shitty work from 3 years ago. But this is really weird. My master, it's at minus 13.9 LUFS, which is the pretty much universal standard. And it's at minus 1 dB true peak. So I'm actually pretty proud of that. However, the Bandlab master is at minus 17 LUFS and at 0 dB true peak. Now the issue with that, and I'm taking Spotify as an example, is that they adjust all tracks to minus 14 LUFS. And if a track is minus 17 LUFS, in order to adjust it to minus 14 LUFS, they have to gain it up. So in order to get to that minus 14 LUFS, Spotify has to apply positive gain, which they cannot do because there's no room left in the peaking. And as long as the setting for the end user is at normal or at quiet, they only lift it the maximum they can. They don't do any limiting. They only do limiting when a user requests loud versions, which happens not only on Spotify, it also happens literally in a phone and stuff. There's also processing happening whenever a user requests a higher loudness version. So that's weird. From listening on it on equal gain, there are of course a lot of tasteful things to say, but it doesn't sound bad. It's just not what I intended. But on the other hand, it's not just up to me to make those decisions. In the end, there's also an artist involved. And if the artist did expect this from the mastering, then it's okay with me. But right now, I'm the only person to decide because I'm the only one here filming. From a technical perspective, the Bandlab master does not comply with Spotify. All right, so I want to see what is going on here. So I've uploaded the track to Bandlab mastering. But what I want to know is, can I actually get this thing to adjust to the Spotify standards? No, I can just download it. Apparently it's free. It's free? This is a free mastering service. Wow, it's very good then. Like, if you don't have to pay anything for this, that's value. That's definitely good when you just want to check out what happens if something will be on the master. But yeah, it's keeping it at minus 17. I am confused. Now, I'm going to make an extra members video in which I'm going to master this track again with the equipment that I have now and with the knowledge that I have right now to figure out if that master would be any different from the master I made a few years ago. I'm going to show every detail of the mastering in that video. And if you want to see that, check out the members only video over here. Now, with that being said, thanks a lot for watching. I'll link some interesting content over here. keep pushing, and bye bye.